They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without which please watch the first two episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good morning, everyone. Film and TV review. Film and TV review today, this morning. And I don't know whether I've just noticed this behind me. Do you think Jason's saying something here? The hustler. My hustler. But anyway, good morning, and I'd like your opinion on films that you've seen and what you think of them. And are they well worth a watch? Well worth a watch. And Mark, Ohio, good morning in Japanese. Oh, is that it? Ohio, you're not there, are you? Francis just came back from Tokyo, population 37 million, with my daughter. Reminded me of Liverpool if we had innovative leadership. 5 metro system was I don't know what that am I seeing that properly? But anyway, my grandson came back from there too. He travelled around to major cities. Kyoto as well he went to. He's only got back last month. And he said it was incredible. But the amount of people was just crammed. You see, it's like New Zealand. You might think, New Zealand, Japan. You see, there's only, I think, 20% habitable, like New Zealand is. 20% habitable. That's why they cram into cities. Special, for fuck's sake. I don't know what this should, every time I come in here, this comes on me. And my nose starts itching. And see, sorry about this. It's so annoying. Really is annoying. Yes, so annoying. And Mark carries on by saying, Ciao, morning, Japanese. Oh, it saves 37 million people. Cartoons, games. That's brilliant, that. The metro was brilliant, looks and smells like ours only. It's never late and saves 37 million people. There's movies, cartoons, games. Is that on the metro? Very good. Oh, and by the way, did you know Japanese director Kurosawa was copied by Hollywood heavily. Leone westerns, Star Wars, Magnificent. Yeah. It was the Magnificent Seven. Was the Seven Samurai. There's a cracking Japanese film with Keanu Reeves, believe it or not, and it's called Ronin 47. It's a fantasy, but there was a Ronin 47. There was. And yes, Japan make some fantastic films. So does South Korea, by the way. And I like French films. Hollywood, if they can't make their own, they always copy other countries. Always copy them. See, if you look at script writers, Hollywood script writers, I think they're all lunatics, the script writers. The minds, I think they're all psychopaths. When you look at some of the films that they do, horrible they are, especially other ones. What's in the mind? And slasher films, I hate them. And it's always the young, the slasher things, sorority girls, whatever they're called. Freshies always getting slashed up, killed, stabbed. So maybe they were. I've always thought, like watching these films, that what the script writers have written, and I've thought they must have hated high school. High school, they must have been bullied. And I said, right, I'm going to get them back. You know, when they matured and became script writers. That's the way I think, anyway. Edward, hello, Frank and chat, Saturday again. So that means it's TV and films day. Yeah. And there's me, I'm going to go with the Americans. I've got a few written down here that you can get on YouTube, actually. And one of the best. But I'll tell you what carried this particular film. British stars. And it's called Flight of the Phoenix with James Stewart. Jimmy Stewart. But it was the British actors that carried it. Fantastic act. You know, Dickie Darlene Gattenbury, Ronald Fraser, Peter Finch. I know Peter Finch was Australian, but brilliant. Ian Bannon. They carried that film. Because you just got James Stewart being James Stewart. Oh, that's all you get out of it. She ever played a batty? Hi, Frank and everyone. Like and subscribe, says Christopher. Hello, Christopher. TW. Well, a Frank and chat. I'd say. Samurai was copied to a fistful of dollars. A few dollars more with Frank's mate, Clint. Yeah, Clint. Me and Clint are like that. And it's very, you know, I was telling the mate, and he said, fuck off, you know. So, yeah, okay. Can't please everyone. You know, who'd ever imagine going to Scotland to see a couple? And with my one, I was married then. And go up there the lad says to me, the girls were going out to a market or something. This was on a Saturday morning. And he said, come on, I'll bring you up to where we're going tonight. I said, okay. We went to a place called Duck Bay. And this complex, the only complex on Loch Lomond, nothing else can be built. But it's been there for years. And it was in this lad's, this Kenny lad's family. His uncle owned it. And anyway, he gets in there. And we were allowed in by this big 8-foot fella, big monster he was. He said, all right, just go in. Because Kenny went like that. He said, listen, he said, my uncle owns this. He said, now come in here tonight with my good friend and our wives. And he said, okay then. This is in 1994. Was it 94? Yeah. 94, was it? Or 95, something like that anyway. And goes in, and there was one fella in there sitting at a table, having a coffee or whatever. And I couldn't believe who it was, and it was Clint Eastwood. I said to Kenny, I said, shall we go over? He said, I'm not. I said, I am. And I went over, shook hands with him. And he invited me to sit down and have a coffee. I said, can he have a tea? I don't like coffee. He said, yes. Called the waiter over and I had a cup of tea. And like about 25 minutes I was told I was chatting to him. What a man. Big tall fella as well, very tall, Gary Rigby. Oh no, Frank. Oh, and Gary. And Edward, I remember Flight of the Navigator. Was that a science fiction one? Flight of the Navigator. Was that a kid's one? And Gary says, watched Letter to Brezhnev the other night. Not great, but okay. Brian Jakes was good as the taxi driver. Nice fella, Brian. But Margie Clark and Alexandra Pegg. Was it? Margie and Alexandra were great. But I didn't like that Firth fella, as if it was a Firth. Not Colin Firth, he's all right, but this other Pratt Firth. Bad actor. Playing the Russian. Yeah, so, as I said, Flight of the Phoenix, very good. And Under Suspicion. What a film that is. Gene Hackman. Watch it. Get it. These are all on YouTube, Really brilliant film. And Edward says, Frank, it's a kid's film. I remember watching it when I was younger, says Edward. Flight of the Phoenix, that is. Thanks, Gary. Peter Firth, that's him. Peter Firth. And Edward says, Wales War Z, good film. Yeah, it's a cracker, that. With Brad Pitt, yeah. Yeah, brilliant film. And I don't like the zombies, if you know what I mean. Don't like those type of films, but that was good. Brad Pitt. I Am Legend as well, says Edward. That was with what's his name? Will Smith. I Am Legend. But that was a follow up from something else, you know. I Am Legend. But it was a good film, especially for special effects. Special effects was brilliant in that, as I remember. You see, when I watch, I know it sounds daft, but I like a good, a good story. It could be a daft thing, but at least it's a decent film. And I like the Air Marshal with Liam Neeson, and that's on it as well. And the Air Marshal, it's a fella who's lost his daughter. He can't get over his daughter, and he's turned to drink, but he's an Air Marshal. And there's not a bad storyline in it as well. It's not a bad storyline if you haven't seen it. There's only one scene in it where he gives a speech, and I thought, oh, fuck off, you wouldn't do that in reality. But anyway, take that away. It's not a bad film at all. The Air Marshal with Liam Neeson. And another film that you can get is North Sea Hijack with Roger Moore. Roger the Lodger. It's not bad. North Sea Hijack. David's on around. What can you say now? When there's loads of terrorism going on. And we've come a full circle, haven't we? Terrorism today. So anyway, that's a cracking little film. Roger Moore. And Edward says, did you like the Terminator films? No. Sorry, Edward. Tell you what I watched with Arnie. And you can get it on YouTube. And it's good. And it's an unusual film for Big Arnie. There's End of Days. It's good. End of Days. Tell you another good film, which I thought was very good. It's one of those films that I don't know. I don't know what it is actually. I don't know what you call it, but it's about Arnie going after this bad, this killer, and he has to go to a school, and he goes undercover as a cop, and it's called Undercover Cop, Kindergarten Cop, and I thought that was good. Carol Baker was in it. One of the old stars from the late 50s, 60s, big, what do they call it, sex symbols. Carol Baker. She was the mother of this lunatic. And Arnie was in it. Big Arnie. Does I like him in anything else? No. I figure. But he always plays it there, goody, doesn't he? And the machinist is as good with Christian Bale. He works in a factory but suffers with insomnia. Never seen it. I don't like Christian Bale, you know. It's the way he talks, you know. And he's horrible, I believe, um, on set. He treats people like dirt. He treats people like dirt. And it's not just coming from, you know, like one, it's come from loads. And, you know, stars just don't like working with him. Christian Bale thinks he's someone else, you know. I tell you what, he was brilliant in. Absolutely brilliant. And he portrayed a real life character whom is a war criminal. And he's just died now, Dick Cheney. He was brilliant as Dick Cheney. Should have got an Oscar for that. Christian Bale. That's Dick Cheney. How people can get away with murder. Mass murder. Mass murder. But if you're an American and you're a politician, you're all right. You can do anything you want. Go and bomb anywhere you want. And nothing will happen. And when 8 bells toll, Anthony Hopkins, get that on YouTube too. It's good. It's good. And Anthony Hopkins is he's an agent, isn't he? You know, he's in the Navy, but he's like a James Bond type fella. And he's good. It's good. It's a good film. And I tell you who else is in it, and absolutely brilliant, is Snape's just gone from me. Old stalwart actor, big fella. Morley, what was his name? First name. Well, anyway, Morley, he's in it. He's brilliant in it. Absolutely brilliant. And that's in When 8 Bells Toll. Oh, look. The machinist is good with Christian Bale. He works in a factory but suffers from insomnia. Says Edmund. And Christopher says, Arnie is good. He never takes himself seriously. He doesn't the end of days. He's another prat him though, you know. He's just another prat. I read about some people, you know. Some of them are not nice people at all. Honestly. And I always remember someone was trying to write about Frank Sinatra. And I read something about him. And Sinatra was a cracking fella. A cracking fella. He was down in Vegas, him and, a couple of Dean Martin. The Rat Pack was down there. And they went to see Nat King Cole. He said, yeah, let's go around and see that. So they went around and seen Nat King Cole, where he was performing. So they went around seeing him afterwards. And he said, do you want to come back with us? We're going. He said, no. He said, I'm tired. He said, I've got to get to my motel. He said, what? He said, my motel. He said, I'm getting picked up now. Cut a long story short, he went to the hotel where he was performing. He said, give him a room. He says, and if you don't give him a room, he said, we're not appearing. And he had murder about Vegas, and he stopped all that. Putting, black artists in motels. Through that. And he was also doing a film with Dean Martin. And he was doing this film, and it was in Arizona, no, it wasn't. It was in New Mexico somewhere. And I forget what it was called. Two for the Eyes, or something like that, something stupid. With the cowboys. And anyway, they're on this location. And it was, it was just like a dirt place, sand and whatever. And he was at this place. It was a church. It was a church. And they had to film in and around the church. Proper church. Anyway, they got talking to the priest and that. And he's seen a roof. He's seen a roof. He's seen the roof. He looked up. This is inside the church. And he's seen daylight. And then he goes out and he goes around the back and, it's only a small church. And he goes around the back and he sees a ladder. And he goes back and he said to the priest, he says, have you got a handyman fixing that roof? He said, that's shocking, that old. He said, I know. He said, when it rains, he said, the parishioners, he said, no one goes near there because he said, they just get soaked. And he said, okay. He said, and it's me. He said, I'm trying to fix it. Up the ladder. He said, can't afford, to get a handyman in or, a little firm. And he got everything done, that Sinatra, everything. Him and Dino Cricchetti, Dean Martin. Great stories about Sinatra. Goes to Rome, he always went to Rome. And he always went to this, only a small restaurant. And he always, was shown by this old fella, his table, there's a fella sitting there. And he says, he said, Mr. Sinatra, I'll go and, he said, no, let him sit there, it's okay. And then he'd been seeing this fella for years. Every time he went over. And he said, is the owner here? He said, yeah, so this owner came over, and he was older. I think he was older than there. the waiter. And again, to cut a long story short, he bought the little restaurant. He said, go and retire, he said to the owner. He said, go and retire, go and enjoy your years. And he said to the waiter, he said, yeah, it's yours. A restaurant, little restaurant. He said, enjoy it. Through that. So Sinatra was a great fella. When Ava Gardner died, his ex-wife, she was penniless, that girl. Penniless. He paid for everything. Gary says, I don't like Quentin Tarantino, but he's made some, he has made some great films. He has. Fucking hell, I'm bending down. I fucking hate this. Nick's killing me already. Oh, blimey. I'm moving this mouse. Wish it was up here somewhere so I could just do that. But it's not, it's down there. I'm starting to wonder I've got fucking pains in my neck. Robert Morley says, Gary, yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out his name wasn't. Thank you, Gary. Robert Morley, fantastic actor. And great in that. The Chinese make good kung fu films, says Edward. Yeah. If you like those type of films, where you see them twirling up in the air and doing these kicks, jumping over. Sandrika, oh, sorry for swearing, Sandra. Morning, Frank, you're so funny. Thanks very much, Sandra. Sorry for swearing. Excuse me. You're so funny. God blimey. Do you know what? Do you know, like, every time I come in here, I get an itchy nose. It's starting to itchy now. Starting to itch now. A cough. Give up, I think. Do you think I should give up? Doing podcasts. And thank you, Sandra. I'm so glad, you know, make someone laugh anyway. And buongiorno, Franco. Buongiorno, Franco. And chatters. Great story about Sinatra. He could probably sympathise somewhat, as Italians weren't always treated. That's what he said, you know. That's a great comment you've made there, Toscana, because I seen him in an interview, and he said, was it an interview? Was it a reader or something like that? He said, as I was growing up, he said, from very young age, he said, then into adolescence, then into the teens, then early 20s. He said, if there was any trouble, cops always came around, and if your name ended in a vowel, he said you were yanked in. You were yanked in, he said. That's what he said. The Italians. If your name enters in, that's what he just said. Cracking comment, though. Always treated that well years ago. And they weren't treated as well. Us wops. Us wops. Frank, have you seen the film Red Rock West started? Yeah, cracker. Nick Cage and Dennis Hopper. Great opera, isn't he? That's a very good film, that's a very good film indeed. Good thriller, worth a watch, yes. Yes, Red Rock West. Great little actor, Dennis Hopper. But Nick Cage, I've mentioned a few on here with him. And one of them, like, be for the girls, more or less, but I thought it was great. I really thought it was great. And it's called Family Man. And you get it on YouTube. Family Man. And it's a clever film. Family Man. Really good. Yes. Yes, indeed. And what was the other one? Oh, what was the other one? The other one, there was a robbery going on. Oh, what's it called? I got it written down somewhere. Just bear with me on this, people. No. Of course, I might have had it written down, but I haven't, unfortunately. But anyway, cracking film. If I can find and think about what it's called. Do you know what I like? I like old films. You know what I mean? The old Esme. I hate propaganda, but I mean propaganda, modern day propaganda, because it's all a load of bollocks that we're being fed. And if you follow me, what I talk about, especially on a Friday night, you know what I mean about propaganda. But during the war, when our families, were being bombarded by big bombs of the Luftwaffe, the propaganda films were fantastic. It kept people going, you know what I mean? And they were proper propaganda ones. A great film. And you can get it colorized, actually, on YouTube. You can get us on YouTube. Made in black and white, obviously, during the war. And David Niven was in it. David Niven. And it's called The Way Ahead. But in The Way Ahead, what I loved about it was all our stalwart actors that, we grew up with, like in the 50s and 60s and things. And it was a great film, and to get it colorized. The Way Ahead, about a group of soldiers. You know, when they join up, and they got really good film. Good film, The Way Ahead. So I like films like that. Know what I mean? A Night to Remember as well. I'm sure I seen a little rain fly there. Fucking hell. Aren't they supposed to be fucking dead? Sure, a little rain fly. I'm not scared of them. Grab them. But never grab those big things. I was streaming. I love streaming. You know, I love streaming like these drives. You know, in Italy and Bavaria and the Tyrol. You know, the Austrian Tyrol. Especially Italy. You know. And anyway, I was streaming this, and it was the French Riviera to the Ligurian Riviera in Italy. And it was great, you know, just fantastic scenery. So I was just sitting there watching it. And all of a sudden, like as I'm watching it, this fucking thing came shooting over on the telly, like, you know, not at my home. So I played it back, and it was in Italy on the Ligurian coast, and I played it back and paused it. Fucking hell, I'm sure it was an eagle, a fucking big eagle. Eagles are not in Italy. Now, if I would have been in the Dolomites, which I love streaming the Dolomites in Italy, you know, the mountains, I would have said yeah. But the south, incredible. Incredible. Anyway, thought I'd just tell you. Dennis Hopper is good in True Romance. Yeah. Dennis Hopper's good in everything he's made. Every film. Little Hopper. Died, didn't he? Died, Dennis. The Weatherman was good, watch. But it's not a film you would rewatch many times. The Weatherman. It's Jim Carrey in that. Is it The Weatherman? Is it? Oh, with Nicolas Cage. The Weatherman. I don't know whether I've seen it, you know. I don't know whether I've seen it. It does sound familiar, by the way. And Gary says, you know, the film director, Paul Thomas Anderson, his films are always good. His films are always good. I tell you, it was a... Oh. Sure, I just bit my tongue. I tell you, he was a great director. I don't know whether he's still going or what. Tobe Hooper. Tobe Hooper. He made, remember Poltergeist? Made that. Joe Booper. And another great actor, director, Sam Peckinpah. Made some great films. Two of my favourites was the best Western ever made was The Wild Bunch. Great film. What a film. And what was that other one? About the Second World War. Forget it. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It will come to me. Promise you that. Johan. Good morning, Frank and Legends. Met a few friends for brunch. Guess how much they pay to watch the Premier League here? £8. Go away. For the whole season, including the 3 p.m. games. Go away. Isn't that unbelievable? See, ladies and gentlemen, where Johan is, he became great friends with Elon Musk, and he was used as like a guinea pig, for SpaceX. And he was sending someone to Mars. And he said, don't be worrying. He said, tellies will be up there. You'll get everything, every type of film, every type of sport, everything you'll get. So you'll be all right. So we said, well, all right then. And he's in Mars. And it's only costing him £8 to watch all the Premier League games. Isn't that wonderful? Elon Musk. I don't think Elon went. I think him and a few mates went. So, and that's where he is Johan. And he said, can I use the internet up there? He said, yeah, you're all right. He said, I've got big satellites. No problem using the internet. He said, well, all right, I'll go. And that's where he is, on Mars. £8 a season. Not bad, is it? Irene. Morning, Frank. Morning, Irene. Hello there. I thought True Romance was very good, Frank. Incredible. Yes. Was that with Christian? One of the Arquettes, she was the girl in it. Suzanne, no. Roseanne Arquette. And Christian. Anyway. Am I right? Morning, Johan. £8. That's mad, says TW. Will you get up to Mars then? Johan will send you Elon's phone number. Phone him up. You say, can I go to Mars to Johan? Johan shows you how much we get ripped off for our TV and sports coverage, says Christopher. We always get ripped off. As I said, when I go shopping, when our Francine comes down, takes me shopping, and you're getting ripped off there. Well, it's inflation, and we haven't felt inflation yet. As I keep saying to people, we haven't felt it yet, and boy, are we going to feel it. It's shocking what this country Well, what this government is doing to the country. Excuse me. So I think we'll all go to Mars and join Johan and pay £8 for the season to watch games. And Gary says, Night to Remember was the Titanic film, was it? Yeah. Kenneth Moore, brilliant. And you can get it on YouTube. But I watched the colour version. I actually do I wonder if I've got it there. Or have I got it here? I actually do a conspiracy about that. When I was giving lectures and that, I gave or speeches, when I was okay, getting out there to the general public. I used to do about the Titanic. I got it here somewhere. No. Put it down somewhere. I don't know where it is. Nope. Shame. Can't find it. And I have got it somewhere. I really have got it somewhere. It's only here. Can't be bothered looking for it. And there's a DVD called Why They Sank It. I've got it. Incredible. Why? Think of the title. Why They Sank It. The Titanic. Think of that title. As I said, I used to do a lecture about it. I did something for the BBC. I was filming, and what it was about spivs during the war. And they went around the country, talking about spivs, the BBC Two it was. And I was the only one picked out of the provinces. Because I gave us a story about the spivs here. I said, but they weren't spivs really up here. I said, you get the spivs down in London. And I said, when you look at it with these, during the war, and the black marketeers, that's what they were called up here, black marketeers. I said, they were good Samaritans. Other people could have gone under here, but they used to get things for them. What you call the spivs, but we call them the good Samaritans. And we didn't. I just made that up. On the spur of the moment. I said I meant to say they were like good Samaritans. Getting people things that, they really needed. Everything was rationed, as you know. Everything. And it was very hard to get hold of anything. The rich did okay. Believe that. The rich did. The rich did okay. It's, anyway, these people, these black marketeers, they were like good Samaritans. And I'm talking about medicines as well, helping people. Especially kids who were ill. People forget about that during the war, no medicines. There was no National Health Service either. You had to pay doctors to come out. You had to pay for your medication or anything. Onslaught. I told you I will stop the set piece goals. Will you be happy now and not cry? You be happy now. I'm always happy when this is not a football pod, unfortunately, Arnie. It's about films and TV. But yes, I'm happy. Every time Liverpool win, because I'm a Red, growing up as a Red, being everywhere to see the Reds, everywhere, and I mean everywhere, where you've never been, mate. Whoever's in there, that comment. You haven't been to the places I've been to, watching them. Once upon a time in the West, Henry Fonda was shocking but really good. I liked Henry Fonda. I liked his film. He has one of the best voices. You're not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you. He used to work for. We used to have a girl on, our Hollywood correspondent, and she was outside this music, this film and TV thing in Hollywood, and they were rehearsing, and when we went live, because don't forget it's at the afternoon there, and she said, I'm at these, this theatre. She said, the rehearsing things, and she started speaking to, believe it or not, Jane Fonda. She said, would you like a word? I said, yeah. I thought she was taking the piss, and she wasn't. And I said, your dad had the greatest voice. If he had gone into politics, because of his voice alone, he would have become POTUS. Jane Fonda. And she said, thank you so much. And when I read later, they never got on together. Here and it's that. Here and that. That was our little show. Thanks, Irene, for that. One of my best memories of Italy was seeing a hummingbird. Really? I had I'll tell you what, I've had, some great things. Because, as you know, I lectured about the Roman Empire and seeing these things. Incredible. The Roman artifacts, that is. And then you go on these wonderful excursions, not about Roman artifacts, but, the Ligurian Sea, Riviera, absolutely stunning, unbelievable. Then you go on the Amalfi Coast, absolutely amazing. Italy is the finest country in the world. What I'm saying about it's so unique in architecture, in ancient history, everything. It's unbelievable. And they just left it alone. Beautiful. And Johan It just feel like another planet here. It was £8 a season, and every match, even 3 o'clock matches. Great though. And as one of the lads says, yes, we get ripped off. I think it was Christopher. Patricia says, that's Patricia Arquette. Yeah. You never heard about them anymore, do you? The Arquettes. She's a Christian Slater. See the way, when I can't think of his name. And just come out with the name, like Robert Morley, like Christian Slater, like Patricia Arquette. I could easily turn around and say, I'm only testing you. I know, but I'm not like that, you see, because I just forget some names and that. I'm not a cheat, you see. But that's great, though. Christian Slater. I don't mind Christians. I've seen him in a film. It was only a few weeks ago. But it's in Market Town as such, and I forget what it was. Like a science fiction sort of thing. But he was... forget about it anyway. I'm trying to think about it. Great acting by Newman and Taylor in Toscana. I fucking hated that. Hated it. With a vengeance. Even thinking about it now. From my university days. I had to fucking go and sit and watch that. And do a piece on it. I said, what's this got to do with what I'm fucking doing? But it was giving you like certain things to do, tasks, and I had to go and fucking sit and watch that. And I don't like Tennessee Williams or all the southern drawl. You like fun. You like fucking go. I had to sit through that. Gone off you, Toscana. No, I haven't. But I hate that. Tennessee Williams, for fuck's sake. If Elon came out, says Gary Rigby, with a perfume, he wouldn't have to think of a name. It's already Elon Musk. I like that. Brilliant. A lot of people don't like Musk, I think he's good. He just says too controversial. He's up the backside of Trump and he isn't. I'm telling you now, he isn't. And this USAID, we fucking stopped it all. That was going to fucking terrorist groups and everything. It's fucking shocking. They exposed them. One of the exposees was they were sending millions to... It was Africa, somewhere in Africa. And they showed you like the school and you see this teacher. And it was in it was run down like a little shack it was, a building. And the teacher, lovely person, said, we really need, like desks, proper desks. They were sitting with bits of wood, with the books on. No jaws. Well, they don't need fucking jaws over there, but I think they need jaws to stop big wild animals coming in, if you know what I mean. So anyway, they sent millions over. What was done? This school. There wasn't even any windows. Absolutely zilch. Because they said, they wanted like bathrooms and water facilities, desks. They wanted everything. And they sent millions. Never got to them. It never got to these people because everything was being laundered. These poor Africans got nothing. Not a thing. They wanted books. They wanted everything that a school needs to teach kids. Nothing to do. USAID, that's what that was all about. Yeah, even Harry Evans is laughing. And James Gandolfini was in it too, Frank. Yeah, I like Gandolfini. The best series ever was The Sopranos. Business. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, it's only business. Brilliant. Sopranos. And he died in Rome. He always went to visit his roots. His roots was in Napoli. But he went to Rome. It was like going to Rome. Like visiting the Vatican and things like that. And that's where he died. Just had a massive heart attack, unfortunately. James. He's only in his 50s. I haven't seen The Hustler, but I saw The Colour of Money. Tom Cruise was good. I like Tom Cruise. I really do, Johan. I like his franchise of Mission Impossible. Dan. Great. Action. Simon Pegg. Jeremy Renner sometimes. And the boss, late arrival after escaping from the local post office. Best wishes, FC and Reds. Watch your suggestion. 2 days in the valley. Enjoyed it. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, it's a great film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Danny Aiello is absolutely superb in it. Brilliant. James Spader. Eric Stoltz. Charlize Theron. And there was I don't know, like an English fella he was. Because he has like an English accent. And he was hilarious. Hilarious. Was it William Hurt also in there? Where he was a cop along with Eric Stoltz. If you haven't seen 2 Days in the Valley, watch it, please. Please watch it. Fantastic. Cool and Luke, still one of my all-time favourites. Newman at his best. And a great cast. Yeah, George Kennedy's in it, isn't he? But that's how it was back in those days, in the Deep South. He was only stealing money from parking meters, wasn't he? And he has an angst against them. So he's stealing the money and he got years in jail. You know the character that is. And the boss says to Johan, but you only want to watch them. No, he doesn't. He watches Liverpool. £8 for TV. £8. In Dublin, I watch all the games in the pub. But surprisingly, how many Manx and Cockney club supporters there? Last week there were 50 Spurs fans in the game before ours. Anyway, back to films. 50 Spurs. Didn't know any Irish were there. I only thought it was Liverpool and Man United fans in Ireland. James Spader plays a lot of different film roles, yes. Recommend that 2 Days in the Valley, suggested by Frank. I don't watch horror films. I get enough of that with a Dutch coach. Hit the like, says the boss. Thank you. Thank you. No one's mentioned no one said, I think I'll have a go at that. 2 Days in the Valley. It's sad to see such an iconic wonder like the Colosseum nowadays being surrounded by African and Indian scammers all over the place. Even dates are scammed there, says Ali Danus. Yeah. I got scammed, didn't I, a few weeks ago? I couldn't send out any messages. I couldn't receive any emails. I couldn't do anything. Francine sorted it out, and they're still fucking trying to do it now. I was out shopping the other day with Francine, and my phone went, and I never bring my phone out, Do you when I go shopping? Never bring it out. But it was in my pocket. I must have had hold of it, then went out and just put it in my pocket. And phone went off by the refrigerated food section in Sainsbury's. And went, hello, hello. And I went to Francine. Yeah, Francine. She said hello. Very business-like, And she just went, yeah, it's had to put it back in your pocket. Okay. Excuse me. God, I fucking hate sitting in here. Can't sit anywhere else. I haven't got a cold or anything, I haven't got a cold or anything. Like, it's thank God for that as well. I found an old card of mine, No, when you hand cards out. And that's a cracking little thing. No, with a print of it, it's going back years ago. Fuck. With my old phone numbers, though. My old thing. Fucking hell. Isn't that a cracking card? Look, it's only a black and white thing. Look. Hey, the liver bird. Forget who's on that for me. Not just a one, like, a big bunch of them. Going back years, that. I found it. I'm always looking for things, and I always find some things. Like that other thing that I showed you. Have I got it here? Yeah, there. Look at that. 2013. Me and Jake Abraham, unfortunately he's dead now. But that was great that night. Great night it was. And it started at 10:30, going into midnight. History of horrors. Italy has the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites too, Oscar. 61. We had one, and people just thought that it was down at the Pierhead, and it wasn't. It was the Pierhead, Hope Street, and William Brown Street. They were a World Heritage Site. Incredible. And then UNESCO told Everton Football Club not to build where they built that stadium. They should build it a bit further up. You're building right in the World Heritage site. And they took no fucking notice and built it there. And we lost our prestigious World Heritage Site. Got nothing against Everton building the stadium, but they only had to move up a little. That's all. And we were still as our World Heritage. And I always remember Joe Anderson, who was the mayor at the time. He was big blue, big Evertonian. He said, no, we're going to build it there. And I even sent him an email and I said, do you fucking realise how prestigious the status is, World Heritage status is? And he was on the telly and he said, that's only a piece of paper. And he pointed it, it was on the ball, World Heritage. He said, that's only a piece of paper. We need jobs. Fuck off. I said, jobs. I said, well, all right, when the stadium's built, I said, there'll be fucking outside workers, outside contractors coming up to build a stadium. Where's the fucking jobs? Because they bring their own workforce. I said, and when it's completed, I said, the lads and girls who work at Goodison will just move down there. Where's the fucking jobs? For us, as you say, jobs market, fuck off. Really annoying. But that's me. I wanted to keep our World Heritage status. And we didn't do it. Shame. I receive all kinds of calls that my package is ready and to add my address on a website. Don't follow those things. They are scammers. Yeah, I know. It's like your parcel hasn't arrived and all that. Uh, I do know all that. But these pricks call me up, say, my daughter, she does everything, all this, my financial stuff and whatever. And I didn't even know my provider for my phone. I didn't know who we were because she just doesn't know. I pay my bill like, oh, it just comes through direct debit. And I just pay it. Just comes out. And these people were saying, your thing's going to be blocked in the next 48 hours, so what we need you to do. And I couldn't understand these people. I was saying, oh, yeah, well, all right, just do it then. Fuck it. And then Francine came, no, fucking a week or two later, sorted it. The boss. Gary Rigby, the Tarantino film, I like watching Jackie Brown more than Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill, Sam Jackson, De Niro. Big cast and Jackie Brown, underrated film in my opinion. Can't hear you, Frank, says the boss. But that history of ours is that Arnold Slot on YouTube again, telling everyone how we got it wrong. Toscana. 30 years ago, I lived in Tarantino, Great Vino, DOC. Toscana. Paul Newman got a few of the films that we're going to go to James Dean, including Somebody Up There Likes Me, based on the life of boxer Rocky Marciano. Jimmy Dean, like fast cars. I'll tell you who his mate was. You're not going to believe it. His mate was Jimmy Dean's. Became very great friends with him. And he said, do you fancy getting in the car and go? He said, no. He said, don't go in the car. Don't go in it today. Leave it. And the fella who wouldn't get in the car, fellow actor, and he was killed that day. Jimmy Dean, after being told not to go in. And he wouldn't go in it. And that gentleman, believe it or not, was Alec Guinness. Say Alec Guinness. And how they met was brilliant. He went over to Hollywood. I don't know whether he was signing for something or I don't know what to. I think it was bridging on the River Kwai. And he had to go over there, see these Hollywood people. And he went to a restaurant, Alec, and he just went, and this big bouncer stopped him. Where do you go? He said, oh, I just need something to eat. He said, you can't come in here. And James Dean was sitting at a table, and he seen what was going on. And he gets up and walks over and said to the big bouncer, whoever he was, he said, he's a friend of mine, he's coming in. Okay. And I thought, okay, Mr. Dean. And he didn't even know him. He didn't know him. Alec Guinness didn't know him. and he didn't know Alec Guinness. Never has a clue who he was. And he sat him at his table, said, I don't know what you want. And they had dinner together, and he just had dinner, and they were chatting, and they became great friends. And Alec Guinness told him not to go out that day in his car. Because he called around for him. He said, you want to come out? He said, no. He said, please don't drive that car today. And he was killed. Jimmy Dean. Frank, you need to be very careful, says Ali Danush. UK nowadays is full of criminals. Most of them will never work, only scam people. I know very well because I grew up around gypsies. They are the masters in scamming. You get them everywhere. See, with technology, it's become worse because you don't see who's scamming, if you know what I mean. You don't see it. And like dopes like me fall for it. And that's the way it is. This is why they want, this digital ID, and that's wrong, in my opinion, because once the digital ID goes in, you're controlled for the rest. Well, we're controlled now, to be honest. So the last one I'll tell you about is The Lady Vanishes with Margaret Lockwood and Michael Redgrave. And it's colorised. Again, propaganda. And Dame May Whitty from Liverpool. So what do you think of that? And Toscana says, I had a good chat with Lee Bracker, James Dean's friend. Lovely fella. Also been to the actual crash site in the 50s. It was badly designed road. I wouldn't go to things like that. To like crash sites where people were killed. If I was over in America and I was going like trying to see these things, and they say, "Oh, do you want to get no, no, thank you." It's weird, morbid to me that. Never trust people. I almost ends up arrested because someone who I helped and tried to scam me for my apartment. I was shocked. People are very, very bad, Frank. There are few to trust. Yes. Yes. Everything changed. Films are not even close like they used to be. Nowadays, it's only about who make more money from it. Yesterday, I watched Troy, such a great film. We got back in time with everything. Um, Troy, Brad Pitt again? Yes. Eric Bana was in it. You never heard of Eric Bana. He's a good actor as well. Australian, good idea, Mrs. G. Yeah, he was Australian, never heard of him. Unless he's doing loads of mad Australian stuff. And Johan says they vilified Michael's daughter, Vanessa Redgrave, because she mentioned Palestine in her Oscar speech in the 8th. Yes. Yes, he did. And Jane Fonda, they did a film together, didn't they? That film, she won an Oscar. But she stood by it, Jane Fonda. But this is America for you. And going back then, bullying, and bullying actors and actresses. Follow the script. Don't you dare say anything. And she got up and fucking said what she wanted to say. Same as, I'll tell you who's the same as well. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson was bullied. And Mark Wahlberg. Not Goldberg. Mark Wahlberg. Pair of them. But they've got their own production company now. And Tosca, I passed the site on the way down from San Francisco to Santa Maria with my relatives, says Toscana. Yeah, the only things I did, and it was for students, was go and visit. I went a few times. Visit the World War One sites where they're buried. And finding graves of 14 or 15-year-olds. Jason Scott film belonged to me because I did a little bit of a documentary myself. It's when I could walk. And he had black hair. And boss, Ali Noosh, absolutely. The backers and producers want to risk anything, won't risk anything on new or original. Nearly everything now is a remake or a sequel, prequel, or just quill. I watched Mel Gibson talk about De Niro. He says he will never work with that scumbag. He was talking about the corruption from Hollywood, says Ali the Noose. And Toscana says, the best scammer I had was a caller telling me I had a virus on my Windows computer and had to pay him to get it removed, telling him, had him talking for ages, then told him I only use Apple. He never phoned again. Good for you. I like that. And on that note, where a person was being scammed, actually scammed a scammer. Great. Love it. So I'll see some of you tomorrow on this watch along. Don't forget, it'll be 3/4 of an hour before kickoff where we'll have a pre-match thing. Because we had it the other night, didn't we? Pre-match. And then the watch along. Then the post-match. And if you don't want to join me for that, I'll see you on Monday, hopefully, with the history show. I'm doing a murder. Another controversial murder on Monday. Very controversial here in Liverpool. Shocking it was. And he was hanging in those days. Ali the Noose. Franco, all the Noose. My name is Alexandru. Ali the Noose. Franco, Ali the Noose. My name is Alexandru, but since I was 2 months old, everybody called me Ali. Even if I am 85% Romanian and 15% Hungarian, no Turkish at all. Alexandri. Yeah, that's good, that. Alexandru. But I'll still call you Ali the Noose. Because that's the name you've been given by me. Ali the Noose. Our Romanian friend. 15% Hungarian. I like Hungarians. Especially Viktor Orban. And his sidekick, who I can't pronounce his name, who's absolutely brilliant, giving it loads to the EU, and von der Leyen, and Sabozlai, Hungarian. Cheers, Frank. See you tomorrow, says TW. Thank you, T. Thank you for the watch along. Looking forward to it, Frank, says Irene Evans. Thank you, Irene. And that's for the controversial trial. Well, not trial, Well, it was a trial. Great chat, Franco and chatters. Hope you all have a good. Same to you, Toscana, sweetheart. Same to you. Have a good day. Look after the boy. Look after your boy. And Ali the Noose. Much love, people. See you next time, Ben. Yes, certainly will. Ali Noose and all. You never walk alone with hope. Thanks, Frank. Off to the brunch. Take care. Off to brunch. And Johan. Take care, Frank, and legends all the way from Mars, where he can watch every game for the whole season if he wants for £8. Elon Musk's mate and SpaceX. Says, Johan. I like Orban as well. My mother is half Hungarian. Orban have balls. He is not a pawn. That's why everybody hates him. They cannot lead. Yes, absolutely. Spot on there, Ali the Noose, yeah. Yeah. And don't forget about Fico as well from Slovakia and this fella from the Czech Republic. He's just got on. He said, fuck you, he said. Fucking Ukraine, not having it. Sorry to swear on this wonderful Saturday, just gone afternoon. Pomeriggio to our wonderful Italians. Pomeriggio means afternoon. Yes, and what I'm going to do now is go in, get changed again, and sit and watch the telly. I've got something. Some fellas doing something in my house. Fucking 3 days, he said. 3 days. He said, I'll have that done within a couple of hours. I said, oh no, we did. This fella's great. He is. My neighbour from down below. But he cannot fucking talk. He just fucking talks. I'm not doing anything. I was doing a pod last night and a pod the night before. He said, are you doing that thing? I said, yeah. I said, in 10 minutes. He said, I'll be back tomorrow then. I'm sorry about that. I went, it's okay. Great fella. Lovely fella. And Ali says, stay safe, El Franchino. Be a gangster. You talking to me? Hey, talking to me? Do you think I'd make a nice gangster? Talking to Johnny business. Johnny business. Americans own the sheep from Europe, says Ali. Of course they do. They get angry when they see the ones who can't be led. Yes. Okay, legends, much love. Stay safe all, says Ali the Noose, our Romanian friend. I'll see you tomorrow, people. Thank you so much for helping me to get along with this. And to the Gap Patent Services who sponsor every Frank Carlyle podcast. Fully time served, fully insured. If you're an NHS worker, get them in. Don't struggle. And that applies to the elderly as well. Please get them in. Don't struggle. If you want your things done, your home done for Christmas. Gap Painting Services. You'll find everything on the thing. Thank you. See you later, boys. As they say, Adamani in Italian. See you tomorrow. Ciao.